Welcome to our aTech channel. As our subscribers know, we always are presenting the most exciting videos about the world of new technologies. Today, we're going to tackle the exciting topic that really begs the question, what is the best battery system in the world? You may have an idea, but we're going to find out the best battery in the world is not the one you think. In fact, an older technology continues to break all records. Before you answer, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to receive all of our updates. Let's get started. Due to the intimacy of the renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar, the storage of large amounts of energy has become the absolute necessity for the decarbonization of our energy system. Indeed, these two renewable energies stop producing electricity when there is no wind at night. And yet, we still don't have enough batteries to compensate for the drop in renewable energy on the planet. When you think of the largest energy storage infrastructure, a lithium battery-powered facility probably comes to mind. But how would you react if someone told you the world's largest battery uses water instead of lithium? Did you know that an old technology with consistent scientific improvements could be the solution? Many companies continue to build large-scale lithium-ion battery systems to compensate for the world's lack of renewable energy. Tesla, for example, is expanding its megapack installations, but their efforts alone are far from being able to meet the global demand for storage. Another thing to consider is that most lithium facilities are for real-time peak shaving, rather than long-term storage. You should probably know that pumped hydro storages account for large portions of energy storage facilities, but what you may not know is that the percentage is that despite in the years, this technology continues to be at the front of the development. This ancient technology continues to advance and maintains its position as the world's leader in energy storage. In fact, they are even being built in the desert. Pumped hydro and pumped storage account for 94% of the world's energy storage capacity, which is huge. So how does pumped hydro work? In simple terms, all that is required is two interconnected reservoirs with a large elevated difference between them. It is possible to use existing lakes or even abandoned mines. However, the energy density of pumped hydro is 400 times lower than the lithium batteries. To compensate for this, a high head or a large difference in elevation is required, which is the distance the water travels from the upper basin to the turbine. In general, the higher the head, the more energy can be stored per volume metric on unit of water. This is precisely the limit of this system, which is why Re-Energize company is created R19, a fluid 2.5 times denser than water. This invention reduces the required vertical lift by a factor of 2.5 times. There are two types of pump hydrogen designs. In an open loop configuration, the upper pool is continuously connected to the downserver river, so a dam must be built to create a lower pool. In a closed-loop scheme, the two reservoir systems is isolated for the hydraulic network. Researchers agree that closed-loop pumped hydro presents less environmental risks to the surrounding ecosystem. But who holds the world's energy storage record? With about 3 gigawatts of power, the Bath Country plant is the most efficient in the world. The Virginia-based plant has been operating for nearly 30 years, and it's also the 10th largest power plant in the United States. Yet it won't be long before Bath Country loses its top spot. After 7 years of work and an investment of nearly $2 billion last December, China commissioned the hydraulic electric plant of Beijing Winter Olympics. Once its 12,300 megawatt turbines are operational, the facility will reach a capacity of 3.6 gigawatts. China plans to make another splash in the near future. The State Grid Corporation of China, SGCC, has unveiled a plan to increase the total pump storage capacity from 26.3 gigawatts to 100 gigawatts by 2030. In addition to pumped hydro, China is ramping up 30-year-old storage concepts, compressed air energy storage, CAES. The world's first compressed air plant will be installed in Germany in 1978. Electricity is generated in much the same way with pumped hydro, except that compressed air is used instead of water to turn the turbine. As for storage, the system uses additional energy from the grid to power a compressor that then stores the pressurized air in an underground chamber. After years of design optimization, in 2016, Chinese researchers presented an advanced 10-megawatt compressed air plant. Once more, its process is safe. Compressed air operates at a medium pressure, so there's very little risk of explosion. That's reassuring. In compression, the world's largest lithium-ion battery has melted down twice in the last year. China is not alone in this storing energy in the air. Canada's HydroStore is piloting 2 compressed air plants in Ontario with up to 500 megawatts of power. The The company says its facilities could be ready by 2026 and will have a lifespan of about 50 years. So how does Hydro Store solution work? During the storage process, they use excess renewable energy to run the compressor and inject pressurized air into the water-filled cavern. This keeps the system at a constant pressure during operation. When it's time to provide energy, they send water into the underground chamber to release air that is mixed with the stored heat. The hot air then dives a turbine that generates electricity. The discharge system can last up to 12 hours, which is much longer than lithium batteries that typically run at about after 4 hours. Despite the hype, the largest lithium battery energy storage system can provide about 300 megawatts, which is still 12 times less than what the Furjing hydroelectric plant can produce. However, it is more important to point out that the price of lithium batteries has decreased by 89% over the past 10 years. A recent study showed that their storage costs would be lower than that pumped into hydro starting in 2030. New hydroelectric infrastructure is springing up all over the world, even in the desert. Last February, R+ Hydro submitted an application to build Nevada's first pumped storage hydroelectric plant. White Pine Country meets all requirements for such a plant. A 6,000-foot waterfall, enough space to create 2 new large-scale reservoirs, and a near water source to fill them. After compiling a feasibility study, the company could begin construction of the hydraulic plant in 2025. To migrate power outages in California, Eagle Coast Energy is developing a more sustainable 1.3 gigawatt plant in Eagle Mountain. In this case, instead of digging 2 new ponds, the project developer who filled 2 abandoned iron ore mines located a different elevation for the Mojave Desert. In addition to that, this plant will also use excess renewable energy from a nearby 2 gigawatt solar farm to pump water from the lower mine to the upper mine. Pumped hydro plants are also popping up in the Arabian Desert. Last December in Dubai, the water authority completed 35% of its 250 megawatt pumped hydro plant with an investment of about 400 million. Other large-scale pumped hydro facilities under construction in Asia, Europe, and the United Kingdom. As we look to decarbonize our power grids, we need enormous energy stored capacity to take advantage of the full potential of solar and wind. Although lithium is ubiquitous in the media, its capabilities remain far inferior to hydroelectric technology. The latter remains by far the champion in terms of numbers of batteries in the world. Older technologies still have a lot to offer. If you enjoyed our topic of the day, feel free to like this video. To enjoy more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to be among the first to see our next videos. And we'll see you soon on aTech.